Hello YouTube, I'm Adam Green with No More News. Been a while since I made a video, but I've been looking forward to this one a lot. Exposing Laura Loomer as a little Zionist propaganda princess. So, Laura Loomer, pictured here, is an up-and-coming, hugely popular alt-right princess, Zionist princess. So go to her Wikipedia. She is classified as the alt-right by the mainstream media in the forward. Political activist and internet personality, reported for Canada's Rebel Media, which is known as the Breitbart of Canada. She also worked with James O'Keefe at Project Veritas. She's done some notable things. Everybody basically knows who she is. She's plastered all over, gets tons of publicity, propped up as the controlled opposition. She was listed as Forward Magazine's 50 Most Inspirational Jews. And she was, this is a little highlight tape of her career that she has on her YouTube channel. But she's hugely popular. She's done stuff. Everybody knows who she is. The tire slashing. She also did the storming the stage of the Caesar Trump assassination thing. She confronts Comey, Clinton, a bunch of people. And she's got a huge following, 158,000 subscribers or followers on Twitter. Some of them may be fake, but they're not America Firsters there. And she says she's a proud American Jew, unverified for speaking the truth, but support me. Kind of like, I'm the victim, I'm unverified, I'm kicked off, I'm targeted by the ADL. She blocked me on Twitter, of course, because I call her out for all of her Zionist propaganda. So she doesn't respond. She just blocks me. It's crazy. She has 158,000 followers on Twitter, but only 6,500 subscribers on YouTube. Such a crazy difference. And
So the American people would really like to know, what happened to your 33,000 emails?
So she does the partisan stuff. She's a kosher conservative, propped up and with all the rest of the controlled opposition in this Drudge, Breitbart, InfoWars, Rebel Media, Fox News, Matrix. Drudge is the controlled opposition that props up Breitbart, InfoWars. So here's Laura Loomer doing the Shakespeare thing, which was just a little plan to raise money for her get out of jail fund. She stormed the stage. Here's some publicity in the Observer, which was owned by the Kushners, might still be owned. She a guerrilla journalist. She plays the media. New Yorker prop-up piece, behind the scenes with the right-wing activist who crashed Julius Caesar. They're trying to prop them up as the controlled opposition. Laura Loomer, full interview. She got on Hannity, who's a total shill for Israel. Rupert Murdoch's network has Netanyahu on interviews, pushed the Iraq war, was against 9/11 truth, yet Alex Jones is now his hype man. Here's a New Yorker. Alt-right branding war has torn the movement in two. It's because the ADL and the mainstream media prop up the kosher conservatives and the controlled oppositions, like Spencer Posobiec, Laura Loomer, Mike Cernovich. You guys should check out, if you haven't seen it already, my video I did on Mike Cernovich. Mike Cernovich exposed as a Zionist propagandist. And also, this is an important one to watch, the Alex Jones in Game of Thrones predict Zionist false flag. Get those for what I'm going to talk about later on. And so yeah, only 6,600 subscribers. She's all over the media though, especially on InfoWars. She's a regular on InfoWars. And Jones even talked about hiring her.
Laura Loomer, you got this exclusive documentation. You're just such a great sleuth. You got Laura Loomer here. Follow her on Twitter. Again, tell folks how people follow you, Laura.
You can follow me at Laura Loomer. I'm currently independent
So I'm not working for any media organization, but
well, you've been wanting to work at InfoWars, and this last sweep, it all crystallized. So I was trying to figure out where to get you in here. We need you on our Twitter accounts. We need you running the Alex Jones account with all the tips coming in, because the stuff I'm getting, I can't even. I'm going to hire you. It's done. Let's just get that going. And Posobiec too, everybody. It's time to go.
Posobiec too, yeah. All the people that used to work for Rebel Media.
To go to full war. Thank you so much, Schneider.
Full
we'll
war,
be back.
full control opposition. Oh yeah, and that was Michael Snyder that was on the dual screen there with her. He's another InfoWars regular who is another one of these Christian cult members. Look at this article. Michael Snyder, American Dream. 10 times that God has hit America with a major disaster after the U.S. attempted to divide the land of Israel. It's a Michael Snyder economics collapse blog. He's running for Congress. He was just endorsed by Rand Paul. That should tell you about something about Rand Paul. Here's his article for InfoWars. He says that gives all these examples of when we allegedly didn't support Israel enough that God intervened and sent a hurricane or an earthquake or some kind of miracle. This is just Christian Zionist propaganda, and it's such a controlled opposition, right-wing kosher conservative. It just gives it chills down my spine. And this is a Washington Post article. Half of evangelicals support Israel because they believe it is important for fulfilling end times prophecy. It's what it's all about. So Jones wants to hire all these Zionist people who used to work for Ezra Levant, who's been on InfoWars too. And he says you blame me and my Zionist company. He has a Zionist company. That no wonder they call it the Rebel is the Canadian version of Breitbart, because Breitbart was founded by Andrew Breitbart, who used to work with Drudge. Drudge used to be on Fox News with Rupert Murdoch. He's the controlled opposition. So Breitbart literally went to Israel. You guys know the story. Met with Netanyahu and came back to make a pro-Israel right-wing website. That's what it is. And Jones and InfoWars is the same thing. That's why Jones has Laura Loomer on all the time as a regular. All the time she's on the show. I think I might have closed that one. But he says he's not a Zionist. Alex Jones is not a Zionist, but he has all these Zionists all over the show. Like, he goes, yo, let's hire Posobiec too. Another Rebel Media person. So Loomer she comes on InfoWars. I'll play that clip in a second, but she's in Israel for the Jerusalem move, and she is saying, look, this is Shlomo. He lives in Israel and watches Alex Jones every day. So Alex Jones caters to who? Israeli firsters. And here's another one, Laura Loomer celebrating Trump make Israel great again. Doing whatever Sheldon Adelson and AIPAC says. Like, did we hire... Trump's platform was America first, and now we have other countries coming ahead of us. That's because Trump is a Zionist puppet. Absolutely. Here's Laura Loomer. I'm driving in Jerusalem right now, and this is what it looks like. Trump make Israel great signs on the traffic lights. Incredible sight to see. Thank you. All for Sheldon Adelson and Zionist Organization of America. So Loomer's over in Jerusalem, near Gaza, doing little propaganda pieces on her YouTube, going into bomb shelters and saying, oh, children, the poor children, acting like, she says, the liberal media never defends the Israeli people, as if they need to be defended, and it's even close between what the Jews' standard of living is and what the people in Gaza. If you're neutral in this situation, then you're a Zionist shill. And here she is celebrating. People in Israel are happy that the U.S. is withdrawing from the Iran deal, but they are also worried about possible war. It is incredible experience in Israel right now watching Donald Trump announce that he is withdrawing from the U.S.-Iran deal. We did that all for Israel. Ben Bolton, the Guardian of Zion award winner, the day he gets into office, we bomb Syria. The minute we get out of the Iran deal, we're also attacking Syria. Here's Loomer celebrating the bloodlust of the 58 slaughtered Gaza protesters. And she deleted this tweet too, like she normally does. All these Zio shills just can't contain themselves and they go over the top. You always got to screenshot these people when you see something good, because there's a good chance they'll delete it. So here is Loomer on InfoWars giving her first-hand propaganda account from the deep in the heart of Israel.
Last night, I was sleeping, and around 3 in the morning, I was woken up by the missile attack. The missile attack that was fired by Iranian forces out of Syria went right past my hotel on the Galilee near Golan Heights. And so I heard it all. And, you know, if you watch the video that I posted on my Twitter and my Periscope, you can actually see some of the missiles being intercepted by the Iron Dome with little flashes in the sky.
So Jones says that he is not a Zionist. He denies being a Zionist. Here's his video from 2015, 35,000 views, oddly low. Look at the thumbs up. First of all, if you have to make a video on YouTube saying that you're not a Zionist when everybody has known your whole career that you're a Zionist shill, it's not a good look, especially when you got 1.3 thousand thumbs down and 500 thumbs up. Go look at the comments, guys. All of them here. The 835, all the top ones are calling him out as a Zionist shill. And you'll also see they have the most replies. You look into these replies, and they're all nonsense, distraction, total bot activity, total bot behavior. And the thumbs up of all the best comments on here. Jones is absolutely exposed. It's like he's taken off the mask. You know, I've been exposing it for a while. It's not even like I'm exposing it. It's just, I'm not new to this. People have been talking about this for a long time. So Loomer, you know, wants to work for InfoWars. Alex Jones, she says, this is one tweet she did that she deleted. And then when I posted it, this is when she blocked me on Twitter. She says, why would you even make such a stupid comment? I am pro-Israel Republican. No, notice pro-Israel first, Republican, and a member of Zionist Organization of America. And she's opposed to everything Linda Sarsour, who is controlled opposition working through Soros. Soros is connected to Rockefellers. So here she is with Sheldon Adelson, the major backer of Zionist Organization of America. Trump's he's an Israel firster admitted, casino magnate, close friends of Trump. Trump's biggest campaign contributor, forced Trump to fire McMaster, to hire Bolton, he's basically a puppet master that works for the Rothschilds probably. But she says, I had an amazing day in Jerusalem, Israel. Thank you for all that you do for the Jewish people in the United States and Israel, Mr. Adelson. Loomer's always talking about being a Zionist. She says, I love being a Zionist so much I'm even a member of Zionist Organization of America. This is who's in charge of all the right-wing media, guys. It's all controlled opposition. It's really creepy. Here she is with Milo talking about how the Zionists are being persecuted on campus and discriminated against, saying that the Zionists don't have any money. And here she is retweeting the Mossad, little Zionist princess. Here's her propaganda visit to the wall, the Wailing Wall in Israel, or Jerusalem. And she says Jerusalem will forever belong to Israel. And what do they want Jerusalem so bad for? She says, today when I visited the Temple Mount to celebrate Jerusalem Day, I was told to hide my Star of David. I refused. Many people don't know, but it's illegal for Jews to pray at the Temple Mount, their holiest site. When you submit to the Islamists, you lose. I'll never hide my Judaism. She sure doesn't. And what do they want to do? I've already made all these predictions about destroying the Dome of the Rock. And look at this, another one of these cult members that wants to destroy it and rebuild the temple for all types of bad reasons. All I could think about when I was on the Temple Mount today was how cool it would be if thousands of Jews just decided to literally storm the Temple Mount and take it back. When will the Temple Mount be liberated? It's been a long time coming. They want to destroy this and rebuild the temple. They all do. So creepy. And she talks about she wants people to storm the Temple Mount. That's already happened. That is happening. Watch this. Settlers Al-Aqsa. Hundreds of Jewish settlers storm Al-Aqsa compound. They are incrementally getting closer and closer to the Temple Mount. And you guys know what they want to do with it. It's not good. And here is Laura Loomer, same thing. She says she wants to liberate it and take it back. And here's another odd connection. Andrew Mayer, here she is with Loomer and Mayer, Cernovich Media sharing that one. And this guy, Andrew Mayer, he is host and producer at Mike Cernovich and other Zionist gatekeeper shill, and editor-in-chief at We Are Change. So he's connected to Luke Rudowski and his little limited hangout controlled operation over there. And this, look at his Andrew Mayer Abraham. His header, profile header on Facebook is the temple. He wants to rebuild the third temple. Gave chills down my spine when I found this. I wish I included this in this Mike Cernovich video that I made. I'll get into more of that later, but Mike Cernovich exposed as Zionist propagandists. I really wish I knew about Andrew when I was making that case. He's the host at Cernovich, and he's got the temple as his profile picture. And he says he's going to do a debate with me. I contacted him, and he even retweeted my tweet about him. Here he is with the dome in the background, with the flags. He's into the Kabbalah, apparently. Here's his tweet. Open house at the North Miami Kabbalah Center. Free classes and 2 books. And also talks about the Zohar, probably the Kabbalah, the Talmud. So next we're going to talk about Cernovich. A little more on Cernovich and his connection to Laura Loomer and all these people. In InfoWars, they're all in it together. It is really, really creepy, guys. So here is a nice little clip of Laura Loomer hitting on a Aryan German guy, or not sure what he is, but watch this and then we'll get to Cernovich.
Your hair and your eyes look so good. You're like beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like an Aryan degenerate goddess.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. You're Aryan too.
I know, but I'm Jewish.
It's okay.
The Nazis hate me.
It's fun.
The alt-right people want to put me in a gas chamber because they're obsessed with the Jews.
I think they're just memeing on you, but it's okay.
I know. They're just jealous because I have big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ.
Yes, that's what.
And Ashkenazi IQ, I made the video recently about who is the smartest race. Here it is. God's chosen people are the smartest race. This Ashkenazi IQ, like, listen to how full of herself. She's drunk, hitting on this white guy, and she's talking about, I got big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ. I mean, this is, look at this guy's face. That says it all right there.
What it is. Yeah. You got it.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Like, do you know so many people in this movement who preach trad life are, like, fucking people on the side and, like, cheating on their partners? Like,
so many people in this movement are cheating on their partners and effing people on the side. She's talking about sleeping with all the guys in the controlled opposition alt-right. Probably, I'm not going to name names. Possibly people speculate Cernovich is one of them.
So bad.
Like, they're not even, like, really trad life.
Such
like,
scum.
They're not even really good. And we'll get to that in a second. It's that's a good segue into Mike Cernovich. So could Cernovich be one of these guys that she's talking about? I don't know. Seems like they're awful friendly. Mike Cernovich denies bankrolling Laura Loomer's lavish lifestyle, so people speculate, or maybe it's proven, I'm not sure, that he's bankrolling her expenses, probably through this Zionist Organization of America conduit, according to Bernard Media. So Linda Sarsour blames Jewish media for her unpopularity. Mike Cernovich mocks her and retweets it, but Laura Loomer can say the exact same thing. Jews do control the banks and the media. Sincerely a Jew. She brags about it. She says not only is there a heavy presence of Jews in the media, but they also dominate Hollywood. I'm still waiting for one of these Hollywood Jews at the Golden Globes to thank Trump for the embassy. And Cernovich talks about Zionist identity. Go watch the video I made about him. He is totally tied in, over the top with all these people. It's Mike Cernovich exposed as a Zionist agent. And here's a couple tweets from the other video too, but it shows his Zionist shilling. Why does the world hate Israel? Merry Christmas in America and also in Israel, retweeting Netanyahu. He thinks Nikki Haley, the AIPAC darling, is a slay queen. And here's Posobiec, the other guy that's going to get hired at InfoWars. It's part of all this. Trump supporter, would you support Nikki Haley for president? 55% say yes. This is the guy that takes his, used to work for Rebel Media, also the Zionist company. He takes his honeymoon in Israel, saying a good morning in Jerusalem. And here he is mocking a Palestinian shopkeeper. He says, spoke with a Palestinian shopkeeper about Trump's Jerusalem decision. He responded, the U.S. does whatever the Rothschilds want. Shopkeeper is right, and Posobiec is mocking that? The Rothschilds don't have any influence in Israel? Is that what he's trying to say? You know, they're all from Rebel Media, a Zionist company. I mean, yet Alex Jones is going to hire all of them and he's not a Zionist? Cernovich says, walls work, just ask Israel. That's what Trump says. Here's Cernovich retweeting, happy about this embassy move. The embassy is so much more. It's about the temple. Here's Cernovich, which side is morally right? Israel or Palestine? 54% say Israel. Do you support President Trump's strikes on Syria? 42% of Cernovich's audience says yes. And he talks about Linda Sarsour. She's the controlled opposition. Here's another tweet that I caught. Mike Cernovich, he deleted it. He said the SPLC is white. That's not disinfo. I don't know what is. Look at this. Here's this screenshotted tweet. SPLC executive board is 100% white. They are discriminating against people of color. And this guy, Cernovich, is bankrolling. You know, it's Potok, Cohen, Levin. Here's Cernovich retweeting some Zionist Organization of America, some Adelson propaganda. Oh yeah, I didn't even get into more Adelson. Israel firster, he's known as the kingmaker. He wants to nuke Iran. He's disappointed he served in the American military instead of the IDF. His son's a sniper in the IDF. He is the biggest campaign contributor to Trump, offered to pay to move the embassy to Trump, was mad that Trump didn't do it right away. Trump is a puppet of Israel. He's not for America. MAGA is a complete controlled opposition joke. Zionist, controlled all through the Talpiot tech program that Brendan O'Connell and the Talpiot talk guys talk about. They're all apocalyptic death cult, end of times, biblical Jewish prophecy people. Here's Cernovich makes a free speech documentary where it's just really, I broke it down in my video, it's all Zionist propaganda. And yet he wants to censor people who are critical of Israel. He says, although this is an unconstitutional restriction on free speech, SJWs hate Israel, and it'll be nice to get them expelled and censored like they do us. They are totally cracking down with the ADL on social media on criticism of Israel. We're going to be thrown in jail soon enough if we don't fight back against this. Here's somebody asked Cernovich, does it bother you that Israel killed 6 children yesterday? He says, no, doesn't bother him. Just like, and that's one that he deleted too. He deleted that no. I got a screenshot of it. Good thing. I made a video about Cernovich, and he doesn't respond to the video, respond to any of my comments, but he retweets somebody who sent him a tweet saying, I am unsubscribing from Mike after research from Adam Green videos. Mike is a Zionist shill, so his message is not credible anymore. People, look into this. You owe it to yourself. And Mike, you need not block me because I plan to unsubscribe. Cernovich retweets that, but he won't address me. None of these Zionist shills will respond to anything I say. They're all really scared of something, or they're being paid off by Adelson and this Rothschild banking dynasty syndicate. So, Laura Loomer and the ADL. It's interesting how the ADL props up the controlled opposition, yet it attacks them, and then it lets them play the victim and creates a clampdown on anti-Semitism. So, Laura Loomer says, if I was head of the ADL, I would order it to be shut down forever. Sure she would. She sounds just like the ADL. Overplayed, studies show that anti-Semitism is increasing, and in certain parts of Europe, it is at levels not seen since the time of Hitler. They never talk about why the anti-Semitism may or may not be actually rising. And we'll finish on that one in a second. So we got all these evangelicals in this cult, all connected to Alex Jones. Support Israel or you're going to be cursed. We got Laura Loomer versus the ADL. So, this is her calling the ADL talking trash. She is the controlled opposition of the ADL. and she's propped up in the media. They're all propped up, and it's a weird little cult.
Oh, you just hung up. I guess the ADL doesn't really care about hatred and bigotry and defamation against conservatives.
So her only problem with the ADL is that they don't fight anti-Semitism enough for conservatives.
The ADL literally just hung up on me, and they called security, and security first said they can't come up because they're protesters. Then they saw that we had a camera, so they said, oh wait, you can't come up because you don't have an appointment. So apparently, if you are a conservative Jew and you come to the ADL and you come to report hatred and defamation and cyberbullying of conservatives, you are not welcome here at the ADL. They claim to be one of the leading organizations that protect.
So her main problem with the ADL is that they don't enforce enough censorship on Jewish criticism. And I'm all for taking down violent stuff. That's illegal, but that's not what they're doing. Just the other day, Christopher Bolin did an interview with SGT Report, and YouTube just deletes it, gives him a strike, takes it down, doesn't give any reason, and everything he says in there can be sourced, and he has the right to free speech, and they're taking it down. It's out of control. And here's the ADL feuding rallies in DC. So the ADL, it's weird. They say that all these people who are really pro-Israel, pro-Zionist, they say that they're the anti-Semites. They say that Trump is the anti-Semite. And this sets the bar so low for what it means to be an anti-Semite. If you don't absolutely worship Israel and are a total Zionist shill, you're anti-Semitic. So that's what they're doing. And they're propping up all the people. And it's weird because they attack them when they're all pro-Israel. It doesn't make any sense unless they're trying to control who the controlled opposition is. So here, alt-right Trump supporters blast ADL over inclusion on hate list. So this is just a little controlled opposition, full spectrum dominance. All these people, Milo, Gavin McInnes, Pettibone, Posobiec, Alex Jones, Cernovich. This is the ADL. See, they all go, oh, they're against me. But the loudest people and the people that get propped up are being controlled by the ADL, Adelson, Rothschild. And it's dangerous for me to even say this stuff. And what is the purpose of these people? Well, they admit it right here in the foreword. Laura Loomer, the Jewish voice of the far right. So she's the voice. They're propping them up as that's who the opposition is, the opposition to all this. Can she tame the Jew haters? That's what she's to do, is taming the Jew haters. And I'm not saying that we should hate the Jews, but I'm saying that we need to have justice, accountability, and truth. And we're not getting that when all of the online, conservative, alternative, alt-right media is controlled by the very people who are not America first. They're Israel and their empire, their Taupiat, New World Order from Jerusalem, end of times, rebuild the temple prophecies. So this is turf battles, and all these people are in here, Posobiec, Cernovich, all of them. It's very creepy. And Laura Loomer likes to say that all the haters against her are Nazis and that we live in our mom's basements. But the fact is that you guys are all Zionist. It's indisputable. I lay out all the facts about it. So just people need to realize that there's so much controlled opposition in the right wing. All of them. Drudge, Breitbart, Rebel Media, Alex Jones, Paul Joseph Watson, Laura Loomer, Posobiec, Cernovich, Gavin McInnes. It's louder with Crowder, Shapiro. I could go on and on. So we need to wake up to this, share this information. It's dangerous for me to be doing this stuff. I'm not good at making videos. It's hard to turn on the camera. But I really hope you guys follow me on social media. Follow me, subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. While we're still there, the ADL is cracking down, in charge of Silicon Valley, of all these companies. And we really have to spread this message and get vocal and talk to our neighbors and our friends about this, or I can see things getting really, really bad. Israel is having a high-tech takeover. I'm going to get into some more videos of how the New World Order that's shaping up to be Israel as a superpower to rule us all. And it's very, important that we get this message out. So thanks, guys. Adam Green, No More News. Good luck to us all. I guess I'll end with that. Thank you.